for introduction, LDPE is a most common form of polyethylene used, excellent combining superior clarity and with stiffness and density. Okay, this is a basic physical properties of low density polyethylene. Tensile strength, thermal coefficient, for temperature is 65 degree, the density, and LDPE manufactured by the process of the polymerization of ethylene at very high temperature in a tubular reactor.
In the reaction zone, there are two types of reactors that can be used, autoclave or tubular reactor. The condition of two reactors are quite same in terms of temperature and pressure. Polymerization takes place in the solution in both of them, and the organic peroxide is typically used as initiators. Conversion is the main difference between both of them. The conversion of ethylene to polyethylene in the reactor is the main difference between both of them. In the autoclave reactor is 15 to 20% and in tubular is 20 to 35%. That's why we prefer tubular reactor to autoclave because it's higher conversion rate.
Okay, this is our process flow diagram. We have several unit operation. Okay, first we have primary compressor and secondary compressor. For the primary compressor, the primary feed ethylene and compressor system and post-reactor system are similar to autoclave system. Okay, at the first compressor, the pressure is 250 bar and then it's cool. To be cool, this stream is combined with the ethylene from the high pressure recycle and feed through the suction filter to the secondary compressor and the compressed further in a secondary compressor to the required reactor pressure of 1200 to 2000 bar. The ethylene feed to the secondary compressor into recycle and reactor ethylene which was discharged from the reactor and separate from the molten polymer. Discharge from the secondary compressor is cooled and feed to the reaction system along the peroxide compound which are used as reaction initiator.
So now what's happening inside the reaction zone? Compressed ethylene passes to the reaction zone 1 where the initiator starts the polymerization to form polyethylene. At 160 Celsius and 1500 bar pressure takes place in the tubular reactor. Compressed ethylene is fed in the tubular reactor. Organic peroxide as initiator is added. About 30% of ethylene About 30% of ethylene is converted to polyethylene. A shell length is about 5000 ethylene unit. And our reaction here is exothermal. So now we need to address or to overcome the problem of the heat of the reaction. So the heat of the reaction is removed by the inlet feed of the cooled ethylene and the water-cooled jacket on the reactor piping, and this is happening inside the reaction zone 2. And then the unreacted ethylene is recycled back to the compressor for feeding to the reactor inlet point, which is reaction zone 1. So now let's talk about the temperature profile to overcome the heat of reaction. So we have here the temperature profile for different feed locations of initiators and the ethylene in the LDPE tubular reaction systems. The initiators is added in different positions in the reactor inside the reactor, and we did this to understand the behavior of the behavioral changes and overcome the heat of the reaction, as we can see from these graphs.
I will explain about the high pressure separator and low pressure separator. Okay, first, ethylene polyethylene mixture will go to high pressure separator at 280 bar. and it will split into two gas phase and liquid phase. High pressure gas phase will go to secondary compressor and high pressure liquid phase will go to low pressure separator. Liquid mixture at the low pressure separator at 0.4 bar will split into gas phase and liquid phase. Low pressure gas phase will go to primary compressor and low pressure liquid phase will go to extruder. Okay, next for low pressure recycle and high pressure recycle. This process includes high pressure free radical polymerization of ethylene, which forms a reactor effluent, includes high pressure LDPE and unreacted species. These unreacted species include solvent, unreacted monomer, which is ethylene, optional monomer, free radical initiator, catalyst, free radical initiator, decomposition products, impurities from feed system, lubricant that we use in machinery, and any combination. The unreacted species include ethylene in majority amount greater than 97% of the total weight unreacted species, with other components present in combined amount for less than 3% based on total weight of unreacted species. The unreacted species are retrieved during a primary separation phase, which reduce the pressure of the first polymerization reactor to 3000 psig. The process includes purging the separative component from recycle stream. Purge means the act of removing one or more separative component from the recycle stream. Purge is performed by diverting or otherwise discarding a portion or a fraction of the unreacted species from the recycle stream. A purge recycle stream is the recycle stream that has been subjected to the purge procedure that has a portion of the unreacted species removed. The purge fraction of from this project is 0.18 or 0.26 to 0.6. The purge fraction is defined by this equation. The recycle stream flow rate is measured by the flow measurement using the pressure drop and temperature, as is the standard for gas flow measurement. The process forms a high pressure LDPE having dissipation factor less than or equal than 1.48 to the power of 4 radian at 2.47 GHz. High pressure LDPE produced is homopolymer with a density 0.91 gram per cc to 0.94 gram per cc produced by way of free radical polymerization under high pressure. Next, decacer. Once the polymerization reaction is stopped, unreacted monomers, solvent or impurities still remain in the polymer. These components must be removed in order to obtain specific material properties with very low monomer concentrations. Two main categories of decacer is rotating decacer like vented extruder or thin film evaporator, and steel decacer like flash evaporator. Okay, for extruder, single screw extruder is used in this project. Products are melt, pumped, sometimes mixed and then discharged. Barrel heaters and coolers are used to maintain the temperature of the barrel. Cooling water is typically used to maintain the feed casing to temperature less than 50 degrees Celsius. Additives also used and fed into the extruder feed for the purpose of improving polymer processing.
From a business point of view, the price of low-density polyethylene or LDPE is affected by the global oil price. In 2014, the global LDPE market was valued at 18.7 million and is projected to reach a value of 22.5 million by 2019. As a matter of fact, LDPE has an important role in our world in order to produce everyday stuff such as toys, bags, and bottles. However, this comes at a cost to our environment as they are not a biodegradable material. Fortunately, this can be overcome by the inventions of degradable polymer, although it must be noted that polymer fragments and degradation products should not negatively affect the environment. Lastly, the manufacturing of LDPE is not sustainable since it is derived from crude oil, which is a limited resources. But fret not, this problem can be solved when biomaterials are converted to ethanol from which ethylene monomer is produced.